This incredible tourist spot in China seems completely out of this world. Towering mountains hidden beneath clouds, endless green fields stretching beyond the horizon, roads overflowing with flowers so vibrant they look like scenes from a fantasy movie. But what if I told you that some of the most viral tourist photos from China aren't exactly what they seem? Nightfam. Today we're exposing 5 Chinese tourist attractions that turned out to be far less magical in reality than they appeared online. And by the end of this video, you might start looking at viral travel photos very differently. Number 1. The fantasy flower roads of Hangzhou. Imagine driving down a road that looks as if it was built inside a fairy tale. On social media, millions of people have seen images of roads in Hangzhou, lined with enormous pink flowers and colorful blossoms stretching endlessly into the distance. The photos are breathtaking. The colors are vibrant. The scenery feels almost unreal, and that's because it is. Now, to be fair, Hangzhou is genuinely one of China's most beautiful cities. It is famous for its gardens, parks, and scenic landscapes. Many roads are indeed decorated with flowers and carefully maintained greenery. But when visitors arrived expecting what they had seen online, many quickly realized something was off. The flowers weren't nearly as large. The colors weren't nearly as intense. And entire sections of the road that appeared covered in giant blossoms simply didn't exist. The viral images had been heavily edited, brightness increased, colors saturated, flowers enlarged, landscapes exaggerated. Some edits were so extreme that the roads looked like they belonged in an animated movie rather than the real world. What's even more surprising is that some of these enhanced images were reportedly shared by official media accounts, helping spread unrealistic expectations even further. And honestly, the real scenery was already beautiful. It never needed the extra Photoshop. Number 2, the famous rock of Wutong Mountain. We traveled to Wutong Mountain. Located in Shenzhen, Wutong Mountain is the highest peak in the city and one of the most popular hiking destinations in southern China. The views are incredible. On clear days, visitors can see mountains, lakes, the coastline, and even parts of Hong Kong from the summit. One of the mountain's most iconic landmarks is a giant rock near the top. Massive red Chinese characters are carved into its surface, making it one of the most photographed spots on the mountain. For years, tourists assumed it was a naturally formed ancient rock, a symbol of the mountain itself. Then came the surprise. Investigations revealed that the famous rock was not entirely natural. Parts of it had actually been constructed using bricks and cement designed to imitate stone. In other words, one of the mountain's most recognizable features wasn't exactly what visitors thought it was. Imagine hiking for hours to see a legendary rock formation, only to discover it's basically a carefully disguised construction project. Not gonna lie, it's probably one of the few times in history people have heard of a rock undergoing renovations. Number 3, the mystical landscapes of Xiapu County. Now let's talk about one of the most photographed places in China, Xiapu County. If you've ever searched for beautiful Chinese landscapes online, you've probably seen these images. Ancient fishermen standing silently in the water, buffaloes walking through mysterious fog, golden sunlight piercing through thick mist, scenes that look frozen in time. A perfect vision of traditional rural China. But many visitors were shocked when they learned what was really happening behind the camera. That magical fog drifting across the landscape, often artificial smoke. Those majestic buffaloes, sometimes brought in specifically for photographs. The fishermen standing in perfect poses, frequently hired models. The farmers working in the fields, actors wearing traditional costumes. In many cases, these scenes are carefully staged to create the exact image photographers are hoping to capture. Multiple photographers line up, models take their positions, smoke is released, animals are guided into place, and suddenly the authentic rural scene begins to look more like a movie set than everyday life. The photographs are undeniably beautiful, but they raise an interesting question. At what point does photography stop documenting reality and start creating it? Number 4, the Yuntai Waterfall. Secret waterfalls are among nature's most powerful spectacles. They're wild, unpredictable, untamed, or at least they're supposed to be. The Yuntai Waterfall is often promoted as China's tallest uninterrupted waterfall. Millions of tourists visit every year to witness water crashing down dramatic cliffs surrounded by breathtaking scenery. Everything seems perfectly natural until someone looked a little closer. At the top of the waterfall, visitors discovered something unexpected. A large pipe hidden among the rocks, feeding water directly into the waterfall. Videos quickly spread online showing water flowing from the pipe itself. The discovery sparked huge debates across social media. People felt deceived. Many wondered whether the waterfall was natural at all. Authorities later explained that the pipe was used during periods of low water flow to help maintain the waterfall's appearance for visitors. Technically, the waterfall still exists naturally, but many tourists felt the magic was gone once they realized part of the spectacle was being artificially enhanced. Because, let's be honest, finding a giant pipe at the top of a natural wonder isn't exactly the experience most people expect. Number 5, the viral grasslands of Hulunbuir. And finally, let's return to the attraction you saw at the beginning, the famous grasslands of Hulunbuir. These vast rolling fields are among the most beautiful natural landscapes in northern China. In viral videos, they look almost supernatural. Perfect green hills, perfect skies, perfect clouds, perfect lighting. People sliding down grassy slopes while dramatic clouds float above them like a painting. Millions watched those videos and immediately added Hulunbuir to their travel bucket lists. But when people compared the viral footage to reality, they noticed something interesting. The grasslands were still beautiful. In fact, they were stunning. But the skies weren't always filled with giant cinematic clouds. The colors weren't always glowing neon green. The lighting wasn't always perfect. Many of the viral clips had been heavily filtered, color graded, or digitally enhanced. The result wasn't a complete lie, but it wasn't reality either. It was reality redesigned for social media. And perhaps that's the biggest lesson of all. Final thought. These stories actually tell us something much bigger than tourism in China. They reveal something about us, about modern social media, about our obsession with perfection. We become so accustomed to edited photos, filters, and unrealistic visuals that reality sometimes feels disappointing, even when it's genuinely beautiful. But nature was never meant to be perfect. Clouds move, weather changes, colors fade, flowers bloom and die, waterfalls rise and fall. And that's exactly what makes them special. The most memorable travel experiences rarely come from finding perfection. They come from discovering something real, something unexpected, something authentic. Because in the end, reality doesn't need filters to be extraordinary. And sometimes the most beautiful places in the world are the ones that remain wonderfully imperfect. Nightfam, if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to follow for more fascinating stories from around the world. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.